I want you to imagine this moment. You're done with your final exam, clinical rotations are over, graduation photos are uploaded, your family is proud of you. And for years, this is what you worked for. You worked for the degree, you worked for the title, you worked for the finish line. And then one morning, after all the excitement fades, you wake up and a question hits you. Now, what next? Nobody prepared you for this particular part. Nobody told you that after years of structure, you will suddenly be thrown into uncertainty. No timetable, no lectures, no ward rounds, no exams, just waiting, especially if you are in healthcare. Now, by healthcare, I mean you've done medicine, you've done pharmacy, you've done nursing, you've done dentistry, you've done laboratory science, or clinical medicine. So you finish school and suddenly find yourself waiting. You're waiting for internship, you're waiting for licensing, you're waiting for applications, you're waiting for life to begin. And while everyone thinks you've made it, inside you feel confused, or maybe anxious, or maybe even lost. Now, today, I want us to talk honestly about that particular season, because if you're feeling this way, you are not failing. You are transitioning, and transitions are uncomfortable. They're very uncomfortable. Now, let me tell you something many professionals never admit. Most of us struggled after campus. That many professionals never admit. We struggle after campus. Even the people who seem successful today, the consultant, the entrepreneur, the public health specialist, the pharmaceutical executives that you know of, many had a season where they had absolutely no idea what they were doing. I remember speaking to a healthcare graduate who had excelled throughout campus. Everyone expected them to succeed immediately. But after graduation, the internship delays, applications with no response, friends moving ahead at different speeds, pressure from family, and I know perhaps you've experienced these, questions from relatives, questions like, so what are you doing these days? You know, those questions, the ones that sound innocent, but somehow feel painful. Slowly, they started doubting themselves, wondering whether they had wasted their degree, wondering whether everyone else was progressing except them. Maybe you felt that too. If you have, you are not alone. You're not alone in that particular boat. Now, here is the biggest mistake people make after campus, and I want you to take note of this mistake. They mistake transition for failure. And let me say that again. They mistake transition for failure. Now, those are not the same thing. They're not the same thing. Just because life feels uncertain doesn't mean it's falling apart. Just because you don't have everything figured out doesn't mean you are lost. Think about a plane taking off. When altitude is changing, there is turbulence, there is shaking, there is discomfort, there is uncertainty. But turbulence doesn't mean the plane is crashing. It doesn't mean the plane is crashing. It often means you're climbing. And maybe that's exactly what's happening in your life right now. When transitions are happening, you're changing altitude, there's bound to be that feeling of uncomfort. And that is okay. Now, university prepared us for exams, it prepared us for assignments, it prepared us for clinical rotations, case presentations. But life after campus is a completely different exam. Suddenly, you need skills nobody taught you: how to handle rejection, how to build confidence, how to network, how to deal with uncertainty, how to make career decisions. That is what you need suddenly. And how to keep going when things are moving slowly. And comparison then becomes dangerous during this season. You open social media, someone in your class or someone who was your classmate got internship, someone who was your classmate got employed, someone who was your classmate won a scholarship, someone is traveling, another one maybe is getting married, and you're just sitting at home wondering if life forgot your address. Now listen carefully, listen to me carefully. Never compare your beginning to someone else's middle. You are seeing their results. In simple terms, never compare your chapter 10 with someone else's you're chapter 1 with someone else chapter 10. You're not seeing their struggle, you're only seeing their results. And here's something that may surprise you. This waiting season is not wasted. In fact, it may be one of the most important seasons of your life, because this is where character is built, discipline is built, resilience is built, perspective is built. You stop being a student and slowly begin becoming a professional. And those are not the same thing. Knowledge got you through university. Character will get you through life. This season is preparing you, even if it doesn't feel like it. What then should you do in this particular season? So what should you do during this season? First, stop panicking. Not every delay is a disaster. Sometimes life is simply unfolding differently than expected. Secondly, stay active, volunteer, take short courses, and attend webinars. Just something to build your mind. Read widely, network with professionals, build relationships. You don't have to do everything, but you should keep growing. You should keep growing. Thirdly, stop waiting for confidence before taking action. Confidence comes after action, not before action. So apply, reach out, introduce yourself, explore opportunities that come along your way. Now, the people who eventually succeed are not always the smartest. They're not always the smartest. Sometimes they are simply the ones who kept moving. Let me leave you with this. The season after campus can feel lonely. It can feel extremely lonely. It can feel confusing and even frightening, but it will not last forever. You are not stuck. You are becoming. One day, you will look back and realize that the uncertainty you hated was actually shaping the person you needed to become. So be patient with yourself and don't let temporary uncertainty make you doubt permanent potential, because your story is only beginning. It's only in chapter 1. So before you leave today, answer this question. What kind of healthcare professional do I want to become in the next 5 years? Don't overthink it. Just write. Because in the next video, we are going to talk about something the health college or universities never taught us, the skills that actually determine success after campus. See you.